At Lee, I know it's only November, but how pleasing is it to see yourselves sat in second at the time of recording this?
Yeah, it's obviously really pleasing. Pleased for the players. Obviously a difficult start to the season. Didn't really look it in terms of points and performances really how we wanted it to look. And they've taken on the information really well, and we're on a good run at the minute. Won't get carried away so early. 15 games, so early on in the season. But obviously delighted with where we sit in the table, particularly some of the performances.
Do you think you've sent a message to anyone in the league at the moment? If anyone was writing Clough at the start of the season, they won't be now.
Not particularly. We just try and go about our business nice and quietly, get on with it, see if we can get improvements out the individuals, which will then obviously help collectively as a team. But I'm not sure. Possibly after last season, people wouldn't have thought we'd be where we were. Maybe looked at last year and maybe thought it was a one-off. But we're not after really sending messages out. We just want to go under the radar and carry on with what we're doing.
Obviously, you guys are on a great run. Even most recently, Walsall and Notts County to take on 4 points from those two games from tricky sides. Do you reflect much on the run that you're on right now on this unbeaten run?
You don't reflect on the whole thing. Obviously reflect on the game that's gone. And really boring like that. You sort of live by your last game, regardless of what happened the game before that. So we reflect as staff on the game that's gone. We'll deliver some little bits to the team via video in terms of reflection on it. What I would say is though, it's obviously a good run that the players are on. And that's got to be their ambition, how long we can continue this for.
Well, talked about the plays there. I know myself and Graham have asked many times about what's the mood like in training. I'm sure it's fantastic, but have you actually seen perhaps even more of a focus now from the players, like they've seen it firsthand what's happening, and so perhaps even they're buying into this even more than they could have imagined?
I think they've been really good throughout the season in terms of the intensity of training, the focus that they have. We want them to enjoy coming in every day, and we make sure we do that. But when they actually get on the grass or the Astro, and they have to perform what we're asking, the quality's been through the roof really, and that's down to having good footballers, good technical footballers, and people that want to achieve something. People we brought into the football club, players. We needed to make sure that they wanted to be ambitious and get out the league or push for playoffs, whatever it may be. So it's down to the players' ambition as well. And then us as staff won't let people just coast. If people want to coast, they'll get left behind. When we go around digging people out all the time, they know what they've got to do to get into the team, to stay into the team, what we expect of them as a professional, and they'll get left behind if they don't. But touch wood, at the minute, everyone seems in good spirits.
Has there been for you a particular game that you would identify so far this season that's been the game, the one that summarises how you want to see your team playing, or that you feel was the best example of what you want Crewe to be this season?
I think there's been different games where you're on about what I want the Crewe team to look like, or us as staff want it to look like. I think we've been able to get different versions of that in games. Accrington wasn't particularly a great performance. We had to dig in. You come out with the victory. Saturday, slightly different. Lots of energy, lots of aggression on the pitch, being able to play some good football. So that's what I'm always pleased with, is they're able to show different sides of what we're after. I think then on occasions we've had that in a more collective game. So Walsall, for instance, play some decent football, but had to really dig in. So that's what I'm really pleased with. When you're not free flowing and how you want it to be, it's being able to show a character and a side to the game, which we've tried to instill in the players, and to be fair, that they're onto each other about. And then along with that comes clean sheets, because of the desire that they're showing on the pitch. So I'm more pleased with, we've shown different ways of being able to get over the line.
Just on the players, you've got people like Jack Lancaster, who came back at the weekend. Jack Powell's been on the bench last few games and played in youth team games. You've got the likes of Adrian Tebow, and you've got Jamie coming back as well from international break. Chris was ready to come after the unfortunate incident on Saturday. But is your squad looking a lot stronger now, with the young players that have stepped up in their absences too looking good?
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting somewhere, again, touch wood, we're getting somewhere that we feel if we can keep the squad together, it will be healthy, be good competition. Be nice for us as staff to have them headaches in terms of who's going to be involved, who might not be involved for whatever reason. And then we've got to try and keep them healthy. That's what we've got. When you're getting injured during games, there's nothing you can do about it. But we're conscious of what we're doing here at the training ground, what work we're putting into the players to try. And that doesn't mean just taking the foot off the gas. Sometimes it means actually doing a little bit more to get them game ready. Like you mentioned about the younger players, I think they stepped up to the plate brilliant. You know, we mentioned Obi Lund, Mattis is still a young player. Callum Agius is in there. I spoke to him in the week. You know, he catches the eye every time he plays. For the 21, scores goals. So we're delighted with the way the younger players are going. And the slightly older bracket above that, your Zacks and your Mattis, Tabs, people like that. You know, they have really stepped up when we needed them to, which again is really pleasing.
Just on Jack Powell as well, kind of still waiting for him to get those first team minutes this season. Is that when you've got to be really careful of just because of the nature of his injury?
Well, he's in a position where we can put him on the pitch. And we don't go into the games going, you're mindful, you obviously know we can't be exposed to loads of minutes. It would have been nice over the last 2 games to have got him on the pitch. But Jack knows he's sensible. It's not just about getting him on the pitch, it's about doing what's right for the team and them given moments. He's excellent around the changing room. The match day is brilliant for the staff. He's great with information. He knows his time will come, and hopefully sooner rather than later, where we can reintroduce him back to getting first team minutes.
Can I ask about an update on people like Kane as well, just to see how things are going?
Yeah, really well. He's out of his boots and casts and things like that. Went for his scan and they're really pleased with the healing. So now it's about finding the right running machine where he can take the weight off it, the anti-gravity machine, which I think we've been able to do. So we'll be able to move him forward nicely. You know, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, which is really pleasing because it could have been longer. So it's pleasing. Connor Thomas is coming along nicely. I think the plan is to get him somewhere near the grass by the end of this week or on the AstroTurf. In terms of doing his rehabilitation, not necessarily football, but he's looking good as well. And then we've got young Nathan, who's moving along after his knee operation. And I think he's getting to a stage now where he will start being introduced pretty soon.
Bro, on to Monday. Given the form of both teams, where they both are on the league table again at the time of recording this, the rivalry, Monday night on TV, it's going to be a great occasion. Yeah,
they picked it well, Sky, didn't they? They picked it really well. Look, it's going to be a really good game. 2 teams, 2 sets of players who are doing really well. Really respect their manager, Darren, you know, for what he's done in the game and what he's continuing to doing. Managed in the Premier League, wealth of experience. Likewise with his players, you look at his players, there's a lot of seasoned pros in there and one comes out and one comes in, but it should be a great occasion. We've sold a stand load. I assume they'll be there as well, and it'll be a great occasion. It always is without the 3 teams in the local area, Crewe, Stoke and Vale, every time they play each other it's always a good atmosphere, isn't it?
Ahead of the game, you've got a bit more prep time as well. Is that useful for you?
You want the game to come quicker. That's what you want to do. You want the game to come quicker. But no, the prep. What we'll do is we've made our week look like how we make it look in a normal week. I think that's the most important things, which means we've been able to have a little bit of rest with some of the players. But our prep, in terms of when it starts and when it finishes, we'll make it look like we would a normal week.
Just talk to me about the Vale as well, because they're 5 points clear at the moment, going into the weekend. They've been top for some time now. They themselves, before Gillingham, had a great unbeaten run too. So what kind of side are they and what kind of game are you expecting from them?
Yeah, they're a really good team. They've got some good individuals that can really hurt you, but you watch them. They're a team that want to be a team, work for each other. Like I say, a lot of games on that pitch, particularly compared to us. You look at the ages. We're the youngest, they're getting towards the older age, so that lot of experience. I say older, it's something like 26, it's not particularly old. But they're a good team. We've got to be mindful of who they'll play. That's again a difficult thing of who they will play, because they've got so many good players who could come in if they feel they need to just tinker something or change something. But like I say, they're on a good run, good manager, good players, and let's see what happens Monday.
Given your history with Crewe as well, does the game mean any more to you? Do you take your emotions out of it?
I got to, haven't I? I have to. It's being a manager, you have to. and look, it's still early on in the week as we speak today. So the players know it's a derby. Their players will know it's a derby. But ultimately, we're there to play a football match, and we've got to be focused on what we're after. The players have got to be focused on what information we're giving them in terms of with and without the football. Both sets of players are competitive sets of players, so it will be a competitive game. But at the minute, we're just trying to stay calm. Me particularly with it. I've had a few text messages, got plenty of Vale fans who were friends, and some Stoke ones, so I've had plenty of text messages, which I'm sure will the closer Monday comes, the more I'll get. With
the stakes of the game as well, you mentioned loads of Crew fans coming, loads of Vale fans obviously will be there as well with them being at home. Is it important as well for players to not get carried over the occasion as well? Be mindful of bookings, be mindful of just making sure that they keep a level head in what's going to be a high tempo match.
Yeah, you them will messages that you go into every game. We certainly had too many needless bookings this season, which is going to catch some players up in the end. And we want to stay away from them, but football's an emotional game, so don't go on about it too much, because it's about what the people want to do in that moment, and it feels right, and there's always a reason why people will do certain things, and I don't want to detach them and make them become robots. And football's about emotion and passion. What we'll do is make sure it doesn't go over the top. Likewise for the fans, when it comes to Monday night, don't go over the top. Don't spoil what could be a really good occasion for both sets of fans, a good rivalry there on television. Let's keep it to the safe standard, and let's have a good evening.
Yeah, last one for you. I remember Stockport away, with that being again a game where both sides quite close to each other in terms of the league table as well, and the Crew fans making all the noise and the performance that came with it as well. You want to replicate that night that's kind of recent in the memory still with an event like the game on Monday?
Yeah, and I'm sure the fans will do it. It'll be close to 2,000, I would think, which is just brilliant, amazing. Like I say, our support's been brilliant. Likewise, Saturday, it was really good. Felt like a proper football match. It feels so much different to the players when you've got a lot of people in the stadium, whether that's home and away. That's what players want to do rather than having low numbers. But they've been brilliant. Our away support since I've been managers have been fantastic. I'm sure they'll go there to try and make as much noise and get behind the players as they can. And it's our job. It's important. That's our job, is to make sure we're giving them something to sing about.